Hey, Patrick here. I played a Zen a couple days ago and it didn't go too well, so I'd like to review the game and see if there's some places that I made some mistakes or if there's spots that I could tighten up to make the matchup feel a little bit easier in the future. So for the equipment, I brought the standard loadout, but I swapped in the long draw over the bracers, and that's just because they might be running warmongers at this point, and I'm hedging that by just including this for now. I think in the future, when the lists start to stabilize a little bit and a meta list is rediscovered, then I might have to swap this out if they aren't running warmongers then. As well, I brought in Skullbone instead of Balance of Justice, and the idea here is that I don't care about the value the Balance of Justice brings, but I really do value the fact that Skullbone can help me dig a little bit quicker for my meaningful on hits, because that's how I'm actually going to win this game. Going down to the cards that I brought into the deck, though, I'm looking to bring in 10. So I have two Battering Bolts on the side, which I brought in. And that's just because if you can snipe 2 chi against Zen, then that means there's 2 less chis going into the deck as well. And that's a massive thing because they have a sort of setup phase where they want to be transcending and getting chis flowing through their deck, and then it really just kind of makes their whole draw sequence a little bit smoother. So I think if I can snipe out 1 or 2 chis from the on hit here, then my chances of winning just skyrocket. As well, I'm bringing in 3 Rend the Ledger. This kind of speaks for itself. It's a really good card into any deck that wants to play multiple action points, and Zen is looking to play these 4 or 5 plus chain links in a turn, so it can absolutely just cripple the Zen if I manage to land this. As well, I brought in 2 Remorseless. It's probably the weakest on hit that I'm bringing in, but it is just a value on hit, so it doesn't actually disrupt. But if they go into a massive churn with the Remorseless active, it can accrue something like 5 plus value, especially with all of the crouching tigers that these lists are generating. And then finally, I brought in 3 Sleep Darts. This card is just really good at being able to make their turns kind of awkward, because if they have a double transcend and then they're stuck with the 2 resources from the Kasaya as well as the 2 chis in hand, and they can't activate their hero power, then they can just sometimes pass and IP themselves if they have that last chi still in their hand. And as well, it can just make it so that they can't find the second half of their bonds combo. So they might have bonds in hand but no descendant, or descendant in hand but no bonds. And if that happens, especially with the post ban restricted, where they're only playing the 3 bonds, it can just make their hands really, really awkward, and can hopefully be game winning. My opponent wins the die roll and chooses for me to go first. I'm okay with this. I'm happy to just try and fish for either Dominated Arrow or leak in some damage with some nice on hits. And here, I think I'd like to just go load in the Endless Arrow, see what I draw. Alright, get the Premed. So I think I should just be going Release and then Premed. And then I could Rain Razors to push it over as well, which would be coming in for 12. But instead, I fish around for the Dominate and I whiff. I don't like that. I think I should definitely just be sending in the Endless Arrow, trying to leak some damage, maybe catch him with some no blocks in hand, something like that. And on his side, he has a really nice start where he just gets to go Wind Chakra into Sacred Art, and that's an amazing start for him. Already, he's managed to find a Chi. He's been coming in for 4, and then he has another Tiger to come in with, and then he's still going to have 1 mystery card left in hand at this. Okay, so the mystery card was to Chase the Tail. Yeah, this turn is absolutely insane. He's going to have to follow this up with the other Tiger, and then he can search for probably a Tiger Swipe to throw on the chain as well. Yeah, this is a crazy turn from him to start the game off with. I really regret not having sent that Endless Arrow. So I think that's a big point where I could have improved on in this game. But no blocking was correct up until this point, and now I'm considering blocking the Tiger Swipe because it's the only on hit that he's presented so far. And looking at it now, I really don't think I should be blocking this. I think Yeah, putting 4 in front of this, using a card from hand in a long draw. No, that's not. I don't like that. I think I should just be trying to send the Sleep Dart. I get 2 ops here, so I could probably find another pump. I also have the pre-med in Arsenal, so I have a really good way to try and get a Ponder. It might bait out a piece of equipment from him, but I need to try to chew through that at some point anyways. It's a little bit scary just taking 20 on my first turn, or on his first turn. That's just a massive blow. But I need to be presenting some kind of disruption into him. And I think my thought here is try to fish for some kind of dominate, but Sleep Dart is a good effect. It's not great at this point in this game because he doesn't have a lot of chi naturally flowing through the deck at this point, so he might not be looking to use his hero ability, but I think I don't like the way that I just blocked out there. Okay, so I get an opt. I see Remorseless. I'd call that a worse effect than a Sleep Dart in this matchup for sure. It might get a little bit of value, but Sleep Dart can just brick his turn. Okay, so I put that on top, and that means that I'm forced to flip into it, throwing away the pre-med, which is a premium on hit in this matchup. It's not a disruptive on hit, but it just lets me chain together turns as soon as I get tempo. And especially with Sleep Dart, if that can get me a little bit of tempo, and then I just start chaining it with the Ponder, that's an insane way to play this matchup. But I'm just throwing that away. I'm having this really crummy turn now where I'm going to be throwing this Remorseless. Yep, I'm going to be throwing it for 8 Dominated. Dominate is not an important keyword at this point. He's happy to just throw armor in front of something that's going to have a meaningful on hit. Yeah, he snapped, no blocks. Good. I like keeping the glide path there because it might just smooth out one of my future turns. It's going to be 2 ops going to the next turn. And funnily enough, I'm actually punished for blocking with the long draw in that last turn cycle, because now I just let the be like water hit, so he gets to transcend. Kasai gives him the resource, he pays the 1, and he's naming Surging, so he gets, okay, Descendant, he has his chi in hand, so he's going to follow up with the Bonds, and that Bonds can probably find a Tiger Swipe. Oh boy. Yeah, this is a very, very good turn from him. But I think it's also just, I'd say maybe a slightly above average turn. I don't know if it's a high roll. Maybe getting 2 above average hands back to back is a high roll. But I also saw that I had a way to play around this, right? I could have stopped him from getting this Tiger Swipe by having the Sleep Dart effect on him. Yeah, so I could have prevented the Be Like Water and the Zen activation if I hadn't blocked the way that I did last turn. I don't know exactly how much value or how much I just lost out on, but it was a good amount. Here, I definitely throw that to the bottom. This isn't a good card for this matchup. Codex of Bloodrot it's fine sometimes, but right now it's not what I need. So send that to the bottom. Load in the Bolt and Shot. I could have also thought about blocking with one of those Bolt and Shots too. The second one, or the second yellow is redundant. Yeah, I could have loaded in with, if I blocked with, I think if I blocked with 2 Bolt and Shots last turn and then used my codec to load in the, I think I like that. Sorry, I misspoke there. Last turn, I should have blocked with the 2 yellow Bolt and Shots and then use my Tunic to load the Death Dealer with the Bolt and Shot. I think I like that a lot better, because then I just get to block out 6. Yeah. I think that would have been a better play than what I'm doing here. I also put the 2 pumps on the first one just so that he can't throw equipment in front of it. I'd force him to put a card in front of it. That's fine, it's just damage anyway, so he's not going to block that. He's going to save his equipment. I did give him an opportunity to find a chi with his Traverse, though, because he does have 2 in the deck at this point. Okay, didn't matter which one I loaded in off the Bolt Shot hit. Yep, play out the Codex, and I should play out the Bolt and Shot, and I don't. So I just whiffed the Ponder and actually draw no block. I don't think it really matters, but I should have just sent the 3 damage. There's no reason not to. It's a good arsenal, the Bolt and Shot, but I need to be trying to present lethal quicker. Okay, so he drew into his Chi, right? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's just going crazy here. This is a really good turn from him, yeah. And I think I'm just dead at this point. Yep, coming for 5. Here, I should probably block this out, give some equipment. Okay. I don't think it matters how I block here though. So I should be blocking out the 5 to deny him the Tiger Swipe. Yeah, he has a combo with a Tiger. Doesn't really matter though. Maybe it did. If he came in with 5, I could have blocked. 3. No, it didn't matter. I might have been able to live one more turn, but I was dead next turn no matter what. Yeah, give him the good game. Watching that back, that was a really valuable game to review. I think there's a few points where I made some pretty glaring errors in retrospect. So the first one being in that turn 0, where I just didn't shoot the Endless Arrow, where I could have come in for 12 and gotten a Ponder and the Endless Arrow, I believe. That would have been a nice way to start the game off. I would have forced him to block out without Wind Chakra. I didn't know he had it, but I can assume that he has some number of no blocks in his opening hand. So I think I should just always go for it into Zen specifically. Maybe other aggressive decks I should learn the sort of pattern to it, but I think into Zen I definitely just go for it. As well, in my second turn, I really don't like the way that I blocked his first turn. Watching it back, it's painful to see that that's where I lost the game. I think the turn 0 was a spot that I lost value, and it probably would have lost me the game if I played my second turn correctly. But I think my second turn was the more painful of the two. It basically just made it so I had no way to play that game. If I was able to put a sleep dart on him, then he wouldn't have been able to get to his bonds line, and I would have had that pre-med, so I would have had a Ponder. It would have just been an entirely different game. And that third turn for me didn't really matter. The way that I blocked it didn't matter. I was already dead based on the first 2 turns. I think the Zen, I think that he drew a little bit hot in finding it. Well, definitely his first turn was really good. The fact that he managed to get a Sacred Art off and also had the Wind Chakra in hand, like just any zero cost blue is really good there. But the Wind Chakra is probably the best one for him to have had right there. So I think that turn was absolutely insane. And then being able to play out a bonds line each of the following turns was crazy. The Be Like Water was probably the best card that he could have had on that turn to open up with, because it just turned on the value from the Descendant, especially with the Kasai just being able to pay for it. So I think he drew hot, but that is way overshadowed by the fact that I just punted the game in the first turn and the second turn. So 2 massive learning spots for me.